Hello, divine creations, divine marvels, children of God. Thanks so much for dropping by. So, very interesting question. What is sin and what is evil? Or more importantly, how can we recognize it in our lives? So first the abstract. What is sin? Well, Jesus never used the word sin. He didn't speak English. He spoke Aramaic. And in Aramaic, the word that was used for sin is an archery term, meaning to miss the mark. So, first of all, I think we need to people think of sin as like, I don't know, like if you sin, like it's unforgivable or something. Whereas that, I don't believe that's what Jesus meant at all. And then, so what is evil? Well, Bruno Groening puts forth that the German word Bosse means evil, nasty, vicious. So that gives us a little hint of, that which is really not good, that which is really harmful. Bruno went so far as to say that evil wants to destroy this earth. And so my understanding then is sin, again, an action, thought, or word or speech that is connected to evil, that falls short of God, the good, harmony, love, peace. So, to understand what evil is, and what's more specifically what sin is, we need to really practice what Bruno Groening said. He said, consider every word and every sentence that you speak and every thought that you take in, whether it is worthy to be taken up, and consider everything quite carefully, whether you have acted properly. So ultimately, my understanding is, sin is an evil thoughts, words, and deeds are just that which is harmful to ourselves, harmful to others, harmful to nature, to life as a whole. And that we each need to determine for ourselves whether we have, as Bruno said, acted properly, taken in accurate, true, good thoughts, or spoken truly. And so it's a very deep question, and it's the normal views of good and evil are like making lists, like, okay, this is good and this is evil, like, alcohol, smoking, sex before marriage, killing, stealing, murdering, like that's evil, and going to church, reading the Bible, being charitable, having the right beliefs, like, oh, that's what's good. And so Bruno in general didn't speak in those terms. The one time I heard him, he didn't give absolutes. Like the one time I can think he did is he said some people actually pray for, or hope for, not pray, but hope for the death of their relatives so that they can inherit the relatives' money. And he said that is absolutely evil and really human beings at their worst. But in general, he didn't, he didn't make lists of do this, don't do that. His lists were a little more abstract, like have faith, connect to God, do the good, seek the good. Don't take in negative thoughts. Don't be nasty and vicious. So ultimately, it seems to me that what Bruno is calling us is to have a personal inner understanding of what good and evil are, what right action and sin are, and then to follow that. Ultimately, it's easy. Sin is any action that's not following God. that's sort of the intellectual philosophical answer. That's easy. Then each person has to apply it and understand for themselves um, what that means. Because yes, we can all agree killing and stealing and abuse and whatnot, those are evil. That's sort of easy. But then it gets more subtle, um, where each person has to find God's will for themselves in every thought, every spoken word, and every action. And that's a personal, um, that's a very personal process. And that's, I think, where religion goes wrong, is it tries to prescribe. Um, it tries to prescribe for people instead of teaching people how to have a connection to God and be guided by God. Religious institutions and structures try to guide people. Whereas Bruno Groening said, don't follow people, listen to God, follow God. And I'd say ultimately that's what good action is, and the opposite of that, listening to evil, following evil, and actually listening to other people as to what we should do is not how we're designed to live. We are designed to follow and to listen, but we're designed to follow and listen to God. That doesn't mean we don't talk to other people and have conversations, but in terms of following, we're only meant to follow one thing, and that's God. And according to Bruno Groening, God lives within us. Definition is sin is not following our conscience, which is in our soul, which is where God lives. Thanks so much for joining in.